think of something, your brain will constantly, all throughout the week, find relations with that thought. That's pattern. We're pattern seekers. And the pattern can be negative or positive. We can seek patterns for negativity or seek patterns for positivity. Okay? God speaks. And God also confirms. That's why when you get into a quandary where you're wondering, is that God speaking? You can ask for confirmation and he'll confirm his voice. Right? So we're on Samuel chapter 3. Okay, Lala, read from verse 3.
The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was laying down in the house of the Lord, where the ark of God was. Then the Lord called Samuel. Samuel answered, "Here I am." And he ran to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called me?" But Eli said, "I did not call you. Go back and lay down." So he went and lay down. Again the Lord called Samuel. And Samuel got up, went to Eli, and said, "Here I am. You called me?" My son, Eli said, "I did not call. Go back and lay down." Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord. The word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him.
Okay, stop. See, that's so the first key is that the Lord will confirm his voice. But the first key to confirm that it's God speaking to you and not your flesh speaking. Your flesh is always against you. Your flesh will speak too. Your spirit speaks and your flesh speaks. We're made up of three components: flesh, soul, and spirit. The flesh is always against you. The flesh will tell you things that contradict the spirit. So that brings us to key number 1 for confirmation of that we're actually hearing from God. Key number 1 is that, does it line up biblically? God doesn't contradict himself. Even though a lot of people that are against the Bible will say, yeah, the Bible contradicts, they don't understand. God doesn't contradict himself. So the first key of confirmation of am I hearing from God is the thought you're having, does it line up biblically? Does it line up with the Bible? Right? If your thoughts are telling you something negative that doesn't go according to the word, then it's your flesh. It's your flesh speaking and not the spirit. Okay? And that goes to the fact of knowing the word. That way you can be able to combat your fleshly thoughts, where you can combat it. Right? What is that? Who can tell me the verse that we studied a couple of studies ago about the flesh and the spirit? Therefore, walk in the spirit, so you do not.
I don't think I was here.
Oh yes, you were here. Walk in the spirit, so you do not fulfill the lust of the
Flesh.
flesh. There you go. All right. Excellent. So walk in the spirit, so you do not fulfill the lust of the flesh, which also the thoughts of the flesh. Walking in the spirit, you don't fulfill the thoughts of the flesh, because you're able to combat the flesh with the word. when the flesh is telling you something that contradicts what the word is saying, right? So key number one for confirmation of your thoughts is knowing that your thoughts, if your thought is contradicting the word, it's your flesh, right? Key number two is being beyond reproach. Okay, that's one of the requirements and stipulations of being a pastor, is that you have to be beyond reproach. Okay, beyond reproach is like if somebody told you, Lala, you were out with somebody, and somebody told you, I seen your dad, and he was on a date. He was on a date with another man. What would your thought immediately tell you?
Right now, I just said.
If somebody told you that about your daddy, what would your thought be?
My first thought was murder him.
The first thing
Keep
that
recording. I'm just saying stuff like
first thing that popped in my head was disown.
that. Lala, be for real.
Disown.
Answer for Michaela. Answer the question. If somebody told you, I seen your dad on a date with another man, what would you tell them? Go ahead, say it. What'd you say?
That's not my dad.
Okay. Being beyond reproach is that when somebody says something about this person, you know that person. So you know, that wasn't my dad. That was somebody else's dad.
Right.
That must have been somebody else's dad. That's being beyond reproach. Being beyond the benefit of the doubt, where the person will give you the benefit of the doubt because they know you. You understand? That's what being beyond reproach is. Being beyond suspicion. That's another way to put it to make it more understandable. Being beyond suspicion. Right? If somebody told you that, I seen your grandma stealing in the store, what are you going to think?
That's not my grandma. That was my grandma.
Okay, beyond reproach, because you know this person. So you know, nah, I'm not gonna believe that. That's not what they would do, because I know them. I know their nature. I know how they act. I know who they are. Right? So that brings us to key number 2 of confirmation of knowing the voice of God. Because key number 2 is when you hear something from God, knowing God, you'll know if it's true or not. Right? Key number 2 of confirmation of knowing that you're hearing from God is knowing Jesus, knowing this man, knowing Jesus, because Jesus is God, God in the flesh. So if you know Jesus, then you know God, right? So if your thoughts are telling you something that contradicts what this man that you know would say, like, no, that's not the Jesus I know, right? If your flesh is telling you something that contradicts this person that you know, beyond reproach, your flesh will tell you things that contradict the word. Your flesh will tell you things that contradict what Jesus would say. So that's key number 2, is knowing Jesus, knowing the word, and understanding that if your flesh is telling you something that contradicts what you know this man is like, it's your flesh. The same way as what I said, if somebody told you, I seen your dad on a date with another man, you know immediately, no, that's not him, right? Because you know I don't get down like that, right? So immediately, you know right away, no, that's not him. I'm not going to believe that not 1 second. If somebody told you that your grandma was stealing, you know immediately. You're not even going to entertain it because you know this person, right? You wouldn't even entertain it because you know the person. And you know immediately, no, that's not who he is. Because I know him. So when your flesh tells you you're worthless, you'll never be nothing, you can't do it, you know what Jesus said. No, my Father said I can do all things. No, that can't be right, because I know the word. I know I know this man, and I know he wouldn't tell me that. Right? So your thoughts will contradict. Then you know, then you can call it out. Then you can expose the flesh. Now, shut up, flesh. Tell your flesh to shut up. You're in it, but you're not of it. You're in it, but you're not of it. We're in this world, but we're not of it. We're a part of this world, but we're not of it. We're not from it. Right? Because we have the Spirit of God in us. Knowing this man, it's already grace that we're being spoken to. It has nothing to do with what you're doing. God will speak to you in any case, in any state that you're in. It don't matter if you just got through sinning. Right? Cain just killed his brother and God still spoke to him. God still spoke to him after he just murdered his brother. God will speak. It's not about what you do or what you did. It's purely grace. When God speaks to you, it's completely grace. Right? Not by works that any man should boast. When God gives you something, it's all grace. Even him giving his son is grace. Right? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. It's grace. He gave. When you give to somebody, it's grace. If you're giving to somebody expecting something in return, that's not giving. That's a transaction.